everyone, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I'm just doing my quick introduction for a vlog I wanted to do. I thought it would be an interesting idea to give a couple DNFs another try. I was talking to Bestie Book Reviews and Bookmark by Jen, and I know that Jessica and Jen, I think both of them really loved one of the books that I absolutely hated and DNF'd. So I thought I would give it another chance. So that's kind of what started this. So I decided to do two books, and I'm kind of thinking, is it the wrong book or is it just the wrong time? That kind of thing. Because sometimes you'll go into a book and it just isn't working for you. You DNF it and you go back to it later and you end up really liking it. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen here. I'm not that sure it will on this one book because I freaking hated it. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be rereading Haunting Adeline. If you've seen my channels or my video before, you've probably heard me rant about how this is so overhyped and how I hated it. So I am definitely interested to see how I'm going to feel going into this a second time. Honestly, I didn't make it that far the first time. I thought it was horrible. So I'm going to reread that and see how it goes. I am also going to reread an Amo Jones, which I'm kind of shocked that I DNF'd to Amo Jones because I really like her. I think she writes off the wall, mindfuck kind of books. And this is part of a duet. And actually, I think the first book is pretty short. And I DNF'd it. I think it was just kind of the wrong time for me. Because there's a sexual assault on page that's pretty violent, and there's drugging, and it just didn't hit me right because the love interest was there at the time it was happening, and this is supposed to be our love interest, and it was just kind of passed over like it was nothing. I don't know. I didn't like it at the time. So I'm going to try and give that one another chance. I have a lot more hope and that one's gonna be an okay read. I don't have a lot of hope that Haunting Adeline's gonna be a success, but I will keep my mind open and I will try really hard to get through the book this time. So I will check in with you guys once I start Haunting Adeline. Hey guys, just checking in. I actually did start reading Haunting Adeline last night, and as before, I'm not enjoying it. So I actually re-downloaded it on Kindle Unlimited, and I realized I only made it to about 24% last time, so I didn't make it that far before I basically gave up on this book. So I started from the beginning again, and again, I don't get the hype. I don't understand why everybody blows this book up. It feels like the author's trying too hard to do a stalker dark romance. The writing's bad to me. The lines, the inner monologue of the heroine is so annoying. She's too stupid to live. I've been highlighting a bunch of lines because they just sound so corny and cringe, and I just don't get it. So, but I am going to try really, really hard to get through more of this book. Basically, if you're not aware, which I'm sure you are since it's everywhere, this is a stalker romance. We have Zaid stalking Adeline, and she is an author. She moved into her grandmother's kind of gothic, creepy house. She found some journals of her great grandmother's where she also had a stalker. Wow, what a coincidence. Anyways, and then she found out her great grandmother died and was killed, and so she's looking into that murder, and I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. So I'm bored with nothing's really happening. We just have him leaving roses, drinking out of one of her tumblers and leaving it there. And then the reason that I kind of gave up last time around was we get to a part where she goes to a club with her friend, and this guy's dancing with her, invites her up to the VIP room, and Zaid texts her, and warns her, I will cut off his hands if he touches you. And so what does she do? She takes him home with her so that she could fuck him, and she takes him into a room that has the most windows so that her stalker would see, And then all of a sudden there's pounding on the door, and the guy goes out to confront whoever's out there and disappears. And then lo and behold, she gets his hands mailed to her or sent to her from Zaid. And does she call the police after this time? No. She doesn't call the police. I don't know what friend's going to help you dispose of some guy's mutilated hands, by the way, but whatever. And then after that whole hand incident, he ends up showing up in the night, and she sees him out the window. And does she call the police? No. She runs out and confronts him without a weapon, without calling the police, without anything. And it is just so stupid. Like, this guy just killed and mutilated somebody. You're going to run out and confront him? Like, she's just so, she's too stupid to live. She's a very two-dimensional character. I don't really care about her. I don't really feel anything towards Zaid at this point because honestly, there's not much character development there. We're barely getting him. And for some reason, he sees her at a book signing and is like obsessed with this chick. I don't know why he's obsessed with her. She seems kind of bland to me. But anyways, I'm frustrated. The writing is really noticeable this time around, because it's like I'm seeing it again. Usually you reread your favorites, so you enjoy getting all those little details again. This time I'm rereading one that I didn't like, so all the little like errors or just things that don't work are really obvious to me. So I'm about 25% in, so I'm going to try really, really hard not to DNF it yet, and I'm going to try and get to 50% and see if I can make it through this book. I'd like to at least get to some sexual interaction or something between them, but still not getting the hype. I don't know. I don't know why people love this book. I don't get it. And I saw all these like edits on Pinterest and stuff of like Zaid, and they were hot. Like seems like he could be really hot. The dialogue he has is just cringe to me. So I don't know. I was like laughing reading some of the stuff because it was so stupid. I'll have to bring up some of the worst lines that I have because I'm highlighting a bunch of the worst lines and stuff that I think sounds horrible. So maybe I'll bring that up later. I don't know. But I will check back in with you, hopefully, if I get to the 50%. We'll see if I last. All right, see you on the next one. Hey guys, so I tried my best, but unfortunately I had DNF Haunting Adeline. So I really pushed hard. I suffered and pushed myself to read as much as I could, but once I got to like 60% and I just couldn't do it anymore. It was a struggle. It was misery for me. I just don't get the hype on this book. The writing is so bad. Like, the writing is so cringe, so corny. The lines that this guy says are not sexy. They make me like laugh out loud because they're so bad. This author does not know how to write dark romance. I'm okay. We get to a scene when they're finally going to do something sexual, and he's like going to punish her, and he basically makes her suck on his gun, and then he fucks her with his gun. And I'm not like against like those CNC, or not CNC, but like basically dubcon kind of scenes, because I love Untouchable. It's one of my favorite dark romances, and it full on has assault in the beginning of the book, but it's done well, and it's written well, and it's more psychological and looking into the mind. This is very surface level, thrown in smut, thrown in like dark dubcon situations. Or not dubcon, like non-con. Like, there's literally like non-consent happening in this book. And that's fine if you want to do that, but you need to at least flesh out the characters, have good dialogue, not have a heroine that has this running monologue that makes me want to kill myself. She's so fucking stupid. I hate the characters. Like, Zaid is not hot to me at all. And I love Carter Mahoney and like Mateo, who are some of the darkest like guys in books. I mean, of course, they're both Sam Mariano. I love Sam Mariano, but Sam Mariano knows how to write dark romance and make it interesting and fascinating where I don't want to put the book down. This was like a struggle for me to get through, and it's a duet. Like, I don't know why it's this long. Like, I'm 300 and something pages in and nothing's happening. It's so boring. I don't get it. I hated it. I really hate the writing. So I like was highlighting some of like the most cheesy, stupid lines in this. And like one of these is where he wants her to call him his name, and he's like, Zaid, he whispers against my lips. That's the only name that will ever leave your lips from now on, especially when you're making that little pussy feel good. And when I'm making that pussy feel good, then you can call me God. I mean, seriously? That is so freaking cringe. It's so not sexy. It's so not alpha to me. Like, it's very put on, fake, just very forced, and I didn't like it. Then you have this whole like side plot of like him going after like, you know, sex trafficking and stuff, but then also there was a video released of these like men in power like sacrificing a child. I don't know if they were drinking the blood or what, but they stabbed him. And so now we're going into this whole side thing, and I'm like, where did that even freaking come from? It's so random and stupid. Then we have like this ghost that might be in the house, but we never like really fully fleshed that out. The grandmother, like great grandmother being killed, I could care less. I don't know why she wants to investigate it. And this female is too stupid to live, where she continuously pushes back with Zaid, and he's literally a killer. And he like one time came to punish her because she kept talking back and telling him to fuck off. And he basically came in there when she was asleep, tied her up, and basically forcibly goes down on her and like bites her down there and all that kind of stuff. And it was just, I don't know. I don't get this character. She gets turned on by horror movies. I love horror movies, but I ain't getting wet from watching a horror movie. But no kink shaming. If that's your thing, fine. I just could care less about this two-dimensional fucking characters in this book. So I had to quit at 60%. I was dying. And so I officially gave up on this book. It is not the wrong book for the wrong time kind of thing. It is the wrong book. I fucking hated it. And I don't get why people hype this book all over the place. It's some of the worst writing I've ever read, and it's lazy writing, and it's just, I hated it. I mean, I have a bunch of highlights, but I guess we don't really need to go into how horrible I think this book is, where he's like, you're so fucking creamy. Ugh. Anyways, I ranted enough about that. So, DNF'd it, 60%, still don't like it, not gonna finish this duet. I honestly had another book of hers, like Does It Hurt or something. I'm not gonna read it because I don't think this author's for me, and I think I'm just gonna remove that from my future TBR and just move on from this author because it's horrible. But anyways, I did start reading the other book that I have, which is Ammo Jones. And this was Crowned by Hate, I think. Yes, Crowned by Hate. It's a duet. I gave up on this book last time. I think it might be just the wrong time. It's not the wrong book for me. I think at the time I was just not connecting to it. Because it does start out pretty rough with like a flashbacks of this girl. She's actually the president of the United States' daughter, and she's kind of was like a wild child and got into trouble in her past, and she basically runs into this guy. He's this big CEO, kind of dominant kind of guy, and he's like looking at her hatefully, and her dad like wants her to hang out with him, and then he basically kind of does a line with her and lets her know he's one of these guys that she had a run-in with years ago, that she's tried to like repress because it's like gives her like PTSD and bad issues. And what happened is her and her friend were kind of like nymphos. She's admittedly like almost a sex addict. She talks about how she needs it, and she's very sexual. And her and her friend were both like that, and they met these guys, and they kind of like went into this tent with them, and they start to kind of hook up. They had already like done some drugs and alcohol, so they were pretty out of it already. And one of the guys was like, you know, you want to they want to play, and she says yes, and he says there's no limits in here, and she's like, oh sure, no, blah blah. Well, he starts pulling out a knife, and this other guy that she calls the wolf, which is the guy that she's running into now, he basically tells him to like make her bleed, and the guy starts like cutting her, and she's like, no, I don't want to do this. And he's like, too bad, there's no limits in here. And he basically then he injects her with heroin, and the other guy, the wolf guy, is like pissed. He's like, you don't drug her. But anyways, this guy basically starts raping her and cutting her and shit. So there's a lot of blood play in this, and she ends up killing him to protect herself. And this guy, the wolf, ends up being this guy's brother. And so he kind of wants revenge on her, and he's saying that she needs to marry him. And he has video of this. So he's basically blackmailing her to marry him. Don't really know what what he wants, except for revenge. I'm not sure. I think that's kind of where I gave up on it, because the whole like flashbacks of rape and then like her being blamed for it when she was being raped kind of got to me last time. But I'm okay with it. I'm doing okay on it this time. Amo Jones actually is a good author, so I'm enjoying this book. It's not like cringy, horrible writing. This guy's actually dominant in a good way. So I'm about 40% already into that. This is a very short book. It's a duet, so I think this is like less than 200 pages. So I should be able to finish this pretty quickly. But I'm enjoying this a lot more than Haunting Adeline at least. So I will check in with you once I finish the book, since it's so short. And hopefully this will be a better experience than Haunting Adeline. All right, see you on the next clip. Hey guys, so I did want to give you my final update, because I did finish Crowned by Hate by Amo Jones, and I ended up enjoying this a lot more than I did the first time around. I'm not really sure why I fully DNF'd it. It was definitely a case of the wrong time, not like the wrong book, but the wrong time. I may have been a little sensitive to the whole sexual assault scene and how she got drugged. She ends up killing the guy in self-defense, really, but the hero of this book is that guy's brother, and he basically blames her for his death. Although he's not totally like, he didn't even really care about his brother, honestly. But I think he has a lot more hidden agendas for why he is kind of forcing her to marry him. So this is a forced arranged marriage. She's being blackmailed into this marriage because of her killing that guy. And so this book is very weird. It's a duet. There's going to be, everything should be finalized in the second book. But it ends on a cliffhanger. Luckily, I'm reading this when it's already been out for a long time, because I think originally, like, people had to wait a couple years for this book to come out. So I did see the kind of twist coming pretty early on in the book, but I still think it's pretty interesting and different and unique. I do think there's still a lot of questions, even though I did get that twist. You're kind of still going like, what the heck is going on with this? It is a mindfuck like Amo Jones does. So I definitely would recommend it. I gave it 4 stars. Some of the sex scenes are pretty good, but there were a couple like fade to black sex scenes, which I was pretty surprised by. I definitely would have gone right into the second book, but I had to get like back to my TBR because I had a few books I still had to read for the month of July. So I'm probably going to read that second book in August. I don't even know when I'm going to put this vlog up. It may be way after that because I'm behind on my vlogs. But I definitely found it interesting, a different, unique kind of book with different storytelling. I'm sorry I DNF'd my first book here, but I had a feeling it was going to happen because I hated it the first time around, and I really hated it this time. Last time, I think I was just annoyed by the storyline, the characters, whatever. This time, the writing just was so bad. I could not enjoy it. Like, it took me out of the story. The lines were so cliche. It was just cringe. It's horrible writing. Like, honestly, I don't know why people like this book and hype it up on TikTok and everywhere. Like, I hated it. I'll probably not read any other H.D. Carlton books because I dislike this one so much. So sorry for the negativity. I did rant a little bit on Goodreads, but it's just all negative. So I kind of just tried to keep it minimum to all my negative thoughts. But it was horrible. So that one is a definite DNF, and I pushed myself to 60%, much further than I would have originally. I did enjoy the Amo Jones one, so that's good that I was able to give this author's book another chance, because I do really enjoy a lot of Amo Jones books. So I would definitely recommend it. I'll probably be reading that second book soon. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you did make it to the end, please give me a purple heart. And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you on the next one.